All right, let's talk about one of the toughest conversations in any business, marketing trying to talk to finance. How in the world do you prove your value as a marketer to a CFO who, let's be honest, probably just sees you as a cost center? Well, we're going to dive into a completely new way to think about this, a new playbook for winning them over. And we're going to kick things off with this, a really provocative quote from Gary Vaynerchuk. I mean, you'd think the chief marketing officer, the CMO, would be his best friend in the C-suite, right? But nope, he's saying he connects better with the CFOs, the numbers people. This quote really sets the table for everything we're about to unpack, so let's figure out why that is.
So the whole issue really boils down to this, what you could call the marketing credibility gap. It's more than just having different priorities. It's a fundamental problem with communication. It's a trust issue. For all intents and purposes, marketing and finance are speaking completely different languages.
Which brings us to the million-dollar question for so many of us in marketing. You know, you live and breathe the brand, the creative, the story, but how do you translate that passion into a language that a CFO understands? How do you prove real, tangible impact to someone who lives in spreadsheets and is totally focused on the bottom line?
Okay, so let's break down why this gap exists. First, a lot of the fancy metrics marketers use, stuff like marketing mix models or MMMs, CFOs often just don't buy it. They see it as fugazi, basically fake. But the real root of the problem, the big one we're going to focus on, is structural. It's the fact that the people making the ads are in a totally different department from the people buying the media space for those ads. That split is where everything starts to go wrong.
So, what's the fix? Well, this is where we flip the whole script. Instead of the marketer desperately trying to justify their existence, the pitch is to shift the conversation from blame to accountability. And get this, it puts the power to fix the problem right in the CFO's hands. And this quote just nails that new approach. The message to the CFO is, stop complaining that the marketing metrics are fuzzy. You're the CFO. You actually have the power to change things. Instead of just questioning the budget, you can demand a change in the structure that creates real accountability. And here it is, the single most important mandate. The CFO, using their financial authority, has to be the one to say, that's it. The creative team and the media team are no longer separate. They have to work as one single unit with one shared goal. No more silos. This chart just lays it all out perfectly. You've got the bad model where the teams are split. Here, media dollars are basically used to cover up bad creative. You just throw money at the wall and hope something sticks. But in the winning model, where they're united, your media spend becomes a precision tool. It's used to find what's working and amplify the heck out of it. It's a shift from just spending money to actually getting performance.
Okay, so that's the big picture strategy. But how do you actually prove that this united approach works? Let's get super tactical for a second. I'm going to walk you through a simple, almost laughably easy way to show direct, undeniable proof of your impact. For B2B folks, this is an absolute game changer.
Here's the secret weapon, and it's just 4 simple steps. 1, you create a unique Google Voice number just for one specific campaign. It's free. It takes like 2 minutes. 2, you put that phone number right into your creative, like in a LinkedIn video ad. 3, you just sit back and track the calls that come into that specific number. Every single call is a lead you can tie directly back to that ad. And 4, you walk into the CFO's office and you show them the proof. You get to say, see this lead? This didn't come from the sales team's cold calls. This came directly from our creative.
And that's the beauty of it. There's nothing to argue about. No complex models, no fugazi metrics. It's just simple, direct, undeniable proof. A real person saw your ad, picked up their phone, and dialed a number that only exists because of your work. You can literally draw a straight line from marketing dollars to a business lead. Suddenly, that credibility gap starts to disappear. So now that we have a bulletproof way to prove our creative is actually working, let's zoom back out. Let's talk about the bigger financial picture. Because when you get this right, true effectiveness doesn't just mean better results. It can actually change the entire budget conversation in a way you'd never expect. This right here is the holy grail. True marketing effectiveness is when your creative and your media are so in sync, so dialed in, that performance just skyrockets. You're not wasting a single dollar trying to make bad creative work. And when that happens, something pretty wild becomes possible. You might actually be able to cut your overall marketing budget while getting even better results.
And there's the punchline.
When you operate this way, you can literally go to a client and say, hey, we're actually going to spend less of your money now because what we're doing is so efficient. I mean, can you imagine having that conversation? And you know who loves to hear that more than anyone else? The CFO. This is exactly how you build that affinity we talked about at the very beginning.
Now you might be thinking, well, isn't tracking getting harder with all the privacy changes? It's a fair question, but the reality is actually the complete opposite. The opportunity to measure, to prove our worth, and to win is right here, right now.
Here's the thing you have to understand. The opportunity isn't getting smaller, it's getting bigger. Think about it. With AI and new search tools, people are asking questions and searching for things in totally new ways. This doesn't mean less data. It means more data, more signals, and frankly, way more chances to connect with people. And if you want some perspective, just look at this number. Over 5 trillion searches on Google properties just this year. That's more than at any other point in human history, and it's only going up. The data isn't gone, folks. It is everywhere. The problem isn't a lack of information, it's knowing what to do with it.
And that brings us to the final critical point. A lot of marketers fall into this classic trap. They're either romantic about the good old days, clinging to what worked 5 years ago, or they're completely obsessed with some unproven new tech of tomorrow. And by looking backward or forward, they totally miss the enormous opportunity to just execute and win today.
So, we'll leave you with this question. I mean, take a really honest look at your own approach. Are you stuck in the past? Are you chasing shiny objects in the future? Or are you focused on what it takes to win right now? Because this whole playbook, uniting your teams, using simple tactics to prove value, focusing on real effectiveness, it's all about one thing: winning today.